down. I'm the one you call when you need a turn up or down. I'm a tin rental man, I'm working all day, getting those stakes in the ground no matter what they say. From sunrise to the night, I make sure everything's right. Yeah, I'm a tin rental man, I'm working all day.
Don't mess it up.
Here we go. Welcome back to another episode of Under the Vinyl, a rental management media podcast. As always, I have my best friend with me here, Kyle. How are you?
I'm hanging in there. I just got off a long one.
Did you?
Yeah. Montauk, New York. If anyone does any work there, just know Home Depot's 2.5 hours away. So bring whatever the hell you need with you. Because the local hardware store only had like 3 pounds of screws, and when you run out of screws, so it's kind of important. They don't carry trim in case you need to put trim around your stairs. I learned all these things the hard way.
Home Depot?
No, at the local hardware store. Hey, planners get what planners want, sir.
Okay, well.
You know how that works. The stairs that she designed and then we had to redo because they weren't grand enough. Yeah, those.
Did you charge for it?
Hey, that's out of my hands.
Okay. All right.
I was the labor on this one. Yeah, I'm just a setup guy.
All right. I love that. Okay. Well, today we have our resident Californian, Kevin Vasquez.
He's going to push his politics on us.
From very, very far away. Yes. Yeah. Wait till you hear. You're going to be all about it.
Jesus Christ.
We are going to talk some California type stuff today with the proper laws and things like that. And I know that this is some really riveting topics for everybody, but at the same time, it's topics that need to be talked about and I think could bring some light to some people. So Kyle, I need you to look at this with an open mind today. Okay. This is going to be a lovely episode with our best friend.
Nate, I had to listen to him yesterday talk about flame certificates and F numbers and serial numbers and how big to make the font. Like, just fake it till you make it to the fire marshal. Come on.
Yeah, until they're there going, yeah, every piece of vinyl you own on this huge music install cannot be used, so find something else.
This episode of Under the Vinyl is brought to you by Anchor Tents and Clearspans, manufactured in the USA and built for the rental industry. Looking to save time and labor on installs? Meet the VXN, pronounced Vixen. From Anchor Industries, the smallest clearspan profile with 5-meter bays instead of the standard 3-meter bays used by competitors and 4-meter uprights. The VXN installs faster and fewer components, helping crews save valuable time and money on every job. Backed by Anchor's trusted quality in engineering and craftsmanship, the VXN delivers the durability, long-term performance rental companies depend on season after season. Anchor Tents and Clearspans, helping rental companies work smarter and grow stronger. Call 1-800-544-4445 to connect with your sales rep or visit anchorinc.com. I was very interested to hear on our call yesterday, though, about how many washes and things like that they say the certificate should or shouldn't come off. Is that true?
Well, no, but it was strange to me to hear that a vinyl manufacturer will deny a claim if the vinyl gets washed.
Deny a claim, so how they... Yeah, go ahead, Kevin.
No, that's exactly... We can talk about that towards the end because that's kind of where some of the heaviness is.
We're talking about it now. We're not moving it to the end.
Okay, let's roll with it. So
let's roll.
So about 2 years ago, we were doing this very large music festival install in Sacramento area, and one of the inspectors was newer to the area and wanted to make a name for themselves. So they started going around and checking some F numbers, which are as the F numbers, what type of vinyl is used in the product that you're getting on a top, wall, gable, and you name it, right? It even refers to linens, sometimes drapery, leg drapes, vinyl liners inside the tent and all that. So they checked one number. Boom. Was not up to date, was not used anymore, was out of expiration in this huge system that they have.
Who's supposed to keep them up to date?
The actual manufacturer, vinyl manufacturer.
Not a tent manufacturer.
No, it's the actual vinyl manufacturer. So I'm talking about like your Snyder's, your Serge Ferrari, your Herculites, like those kind of groups are need to consistently every year renew their vinyl certificate. Well, the one we got, the company went out of business, so dead end there. So the number was just floating around. So that was the first one. Then the next one they checked, it had gotten sold to another company. A vinyl manufacturer bought another vinyl manufacturer, so that number was dead. So then we had a target on our heads with this fire inspector. Like, why are you sending expired stuff? We're like, we didn't know. Like, why do we have to keep up on that? That's not what we need to do. So through some trials and tribulations, we ended up being able to have the music festival happening. We didn't have to take stuff down. They actually did it on site flame test where they lit the vinyl on fire, and it has to burn for 10 seconds. And within those 10 seconds, after 3 seconds, it needs to put itself out. And if it does that, it's clear and it's good to go. I've heard stories of this happening in New York, other areas of the US. Sometimes this is what they have done in the past to certify that it is flame resistant. Now, going forward, we've been working with them, with CAL FIRE, who's the main entity in this, on what they're looking for. And what they want to see is the liability trail. Vinyl manufacturer has made this piece for this tent manufacturer, who has made this piece for this company, this rental company that purchases it. So they want to see that.
What if I buy it from you then?
If you buy it from me, so on that piece
Goes
of the
back to
flame
you.
certificate, it'll go back to you, because even though I have sold it to you, it's now in your possession. And that's when you almost need to either put your new logo on it or redesign a whole flame certificate. So this is just kind of like opening up a little bit of can of worms. And we've been fighting with it for 2 years. And we've asked some of the manufacturers in our industry, and of course, because one state or one area out of the whole US, they're not really going to shift and change the way they do things. Now, if you make stuff in house or buy it from a local company, you may be able to finagle this a little bit. But that's what these fire inspectors are really looking at. It's kind of spread a little bit. Like, I've kind of been hearing and seeing it jump up a little bit in some other areas of the US. But ultimately, what they want to do is they want to make sure that where the liability falls on this piece of vinyl, that it is inherently flame resistant. Even though it comes out of the vinyl manufacturer that way, the tent company manufacturer makes it that way. Even it says after, it doesn't even have an expiration date for washes, that it says it should be able to still be flame resistant. It should be inherently flame resistant for its entire life. But some people
The question is, what is the
stating
true
something different.
lifespan? Yeah.
Yeah. When does the UV start breaking down on it? You know, what at what point is it something that's not gonna, go up in flames?
It's like no one talks about aluminum fatigue. Like, what's the true lifespan of a clear span beam? Is it turns, meaning, you can put it up and down 100 times, 200 times, but like there's got to be some wear and tear on that aluminum.
Well, I think that
For
goes
sure.
back to what you were talking about on the episode, Kyle, where you had that tank go down, but it was checking the weldments and things like that. I think it comes down to making sure that we check the the weldments and the castings and everything like that, or just making sure that everything is inspected. I don't think that enough people probably inspect their parts and pieces on aluminum. I think aluminum's probably a lot longer, but I mean, the vinyl is a very weird question, because you could have stuff from like 96, right? And it could still be A grade, but is it going to light on fire and go out within 3 seconds?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
And
a
I
big
mean,
one.
that's
Yeah.
Well, like the big thing is these flame certs that are come on them from being washed wear off. That's a big issue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I don't-
especially what they're stating is they don't like the sharpied in or written in by a permanent marker, because definitely
Mhm.
after washes, that stuff disappears, right? They want something that's printed on there that's the life of the vinyl itself that's going to be on. Now, if you see a lot of tent manufacturers, they have all this other wording with their flame certs that are all the, hey, when is this going to get, when you should evacuate, all their CYA stuff. So then you have an F number that's very tiny to read, that the inspector is not going to be able to see or look at that they need a ladder to check out. So it's been a
Do you
process. We've
guys?
come up with our own, and it's been so difficult to deal with.
So on your flame certificates, some companies do, some companies don't. Depends on, I guess, where you get it made from. Like if you get it made from like an Anchor and it just says Anchor Manufacturing, right, or whatever. But do you guys have on your flame certs like made in the shade, and it says made in the
Yeah,
shade on your flames? Okay, all right.
Same
yeah.
here.
Because I don't see everybody doing that.
Mhm.
Every manufacturer will do it. You just have to ask them.
Right, but I think that should be more of a thing, right? So
Yeah, for sure, because
Well,
it
so
does
here's
label
my
who
thing.
you are. Yeah.
Here's my issue with it. We've resold a bunch of tents, like resale, and I hate when
Yeah.
they put our logos in it, because if you resell it and then they don't pay you to take care of it or whatever, your service contract ends after 2 years, and then they hire someone else to take care of it, and it turns into a piece of junk. Whoever's under that tent looks and goes, "Oh, that's Chattanooga's tent." Like, I hate
Yeah.
that.
yeah. I also have a question on the. You said they light the vinyl on fire. They're not walking around lighting your tent tops on fire, are they? Are you just giving them a piece of vinyl?
Yeah, you're giving a piece of vinyl it's the same product that you're going to be setting up. In the past,
Okay.
I've heard that people have had to cut pieces out of their valance wherever they could get a piece of vinyl at and light it on fire. Nick Danino is very well versed in that because he's done that a bunch of times. He actually even got certified. I guess there's a way to do it in New York that he would just do the test and pass it, whatever the heck it may be. But
The-
yeah, that's an actual way to do it.
The issue with all of this is none of them play by the same rule book. Everywhere
Nope.
you go, it's
Yep.
a different set of rules, and they care about something different. And it's so hard to figure out what each one is going to want until they're standing in your face going, "Why didn't you do it this way?" or "Why didn't you give me this?" Or, like, we really need to figure out how to get them all in the same room and go, "Tell us what you want,
Mhm.
please."
Well, and I had that same issue recently. We did a big wedding, and it was right off the main road. And normally, when it comes to permitting, we permit when we're inside the city, where we're somewhere that's going to be out in the open, right? Private property, hidden out there on the property. You wouldn't think that you would need it, correct? And if it's
Correct.
a private wedding and things like that, I get a call about this job that we had, and the client said that the one of the neighbors had called and said that they were having a big giant party at their house, so they needed to get it permitted, and they called the city on them. The city called them and asked me if I got it permitted. I got it permitted within 24 hours. It was fine, but to me, it's a private property out on
I
some
agree.
land, their private property, their private wedding. Nobody else is coming. It's not a ticketed event. So when I called the office to talk to them about the permitting, I said, look, we permit everywhere around here, but we don't permit when it's a private situation out on somebody's property like this. She said, nope, it doesn't matter. Anything over 200 square foot has to be permitted anywhere on anybody's property, no matter if it's private or not, in
Mhm.
Nashville,
I
which
got-
to me seems completely absurd. I'm sorry, but I know that there's things about the private party and public party and everything else, but to be in somebody's backyard out doing an event for a private wedding just seems absurd. And so then the fire marshal calls me right away, super good guy, says, hey, I'm going to come out, check him out, come out Wednesday. We had to put up exit signs and fire extinguishers, which we already planned on doing, but he came out and he literally just looked at the tent and walked away. Didn't even check anything. So it's like, to me, that's a $200 money gimmick right off the bat. You're not checking
Yeah.
you're not checking for fire extinguishers. You didn't check exit signs. You didn't check anything to do with the fire. It was just a money gimmick because the neighbors were pissed off because they were having a party.
The job we just did in Montauk, the guy all week was just firing back emails after we put the permit in. All he cared about was that the tent was properly ballasted. He kept using the word ballasted. I responded, the tent is staked. Please tell me your ballast calculations, was what he kept saying. So then me and shout out Devin from Amazing Rentals, who flew up there to hang out with me for the week. We did like a quick stake test. We're like, okay, every stake has 1,500 pounds of holding power times however many stakes. This is how
Mhm.
much But like, and then the guy shows up to inspect, and he just walks around. He's taking pictures of the TF and the tent because he's like, "This is the greatest thing I've ever seen." Didn't even check an exit sign. Didn't even check a fire extinguisher. Never even went inside the tent. So like, I don't know what they want.
But I'm also finding it to where people, and more so specific customers, are GPTing your tents or about tents or what you need to have for tents.
Mm-hmm.
Because then this customer, when I told him, I was like, I can permit this. Usually we don't do this. He goes, well, ChatGPT told me that we need to have this permitted and this needs to be done in this way. And so like, okay, so now I'm battling the customer and ChatGPT for my job and what I would normally do.
Hey, ChatGPT is going to replace you. AI is the future, Nate.
ChatGPT is a huge tool, and I would say, I mean, I use it a lot.
It's
for
not nice
different
to talk
things.
about it that way, Nate.
What?
Calling it a tool.
It is. I mean, it's a
Do you at
wonderful
least-
tool.
Do you at least
It's
say
a tool
please
for
when
this
you talk to
industry.
it?
Yeah.
No, I do not. It knows me well, though. It knows me well.
Yeah.
But, so,
well-
do you think, going back to it, then are the inspectors and fire marshals becoming more educated on this, or are they just hitting us harder than ever because of certain scenarios? I mean, what is the?
I think that they talk, of course. I've gone to a couple of their regional meetings. I'm actually going to do a demo at one at the end of July for like the Northern California Fire Association, whatever group.
Mhm.
So I think they just talk amongst themselves and they're like, hey, I did this finding, I did this thing, and this is what we should be looking at. And like you guys are saying, some of them don't even know exactly what to look for. So when someone says, hey, we should look for this, then they're going to say, oh, well, we'll add that to our list of what we should check off. So, although like what was going on with us a couple of years ago started in the Sacramento region, it's now spread even a little bit more in other regions. So we've been already preparing and doing things to get ready for, like,
So
we
you've been
send out
turning
so much.
people in. You're that guy.
Yeah, something like that. We've been bombed, and what's hard is the amount of information. So at what point are you giving too much information and your customer's like, I really don't care about this. I don't care about this. I don't want to know about this. But the fire inspector, the building code official, whoever's looking at your tent needs all that information. So it is definitely a balancing act for sure.
Yeah. And I mean, I know that we're trying to invite them to more stuff too, to
Mhm.
really get them involved and things like that. But it just feels like, I don't know. I feel like we're dealing with officials more than ever now, and
Mhm.
they're just so uneducated, more than ever. Like I feel like they've been educated on some things, but it feels like it's been hard lately, and it's a lack of education with lots of questions, and they come out and don't do anything. So that's my beef. Is
Exactly.
like
It-
either ask a bunch of questions and bitch about it just because you actually are going to physically come out and do something, or just ask me for my $200 and walk away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Call it a day.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what,
Well-
like I was saying, the expiration, like I'm talking about, where they expire every year, they have to get renewed and all that. That's what, there's a flame resistance committee group that is working towards eliminating that, because why I've had this vinyl for so long, just because the company went out of business and stopped paying for that number, why is that voided? It shouldn't be my problem. That's wild, It's just, it's those kind of things. So there is some action happening. Of course, it doesn't happen overnight, which is the hardest
I got the
part.
solution. Here we go.
Here we go.
Install everything on 10-foot legs. They can't read the tag anyway.
There you go. Yeah.
I mean, we install everything on 10-foot legs anyways, so
Yeah.
Right. And
It's
then
like
maybe
they can't reach the exit sign to hit the test button.
yeah, right.
no.
But I wanted to talk like about what Kyle was talking about the other day about checking the welds on the castings and the pipes and all that. Most of the stuff we use is aluminum, and it's
Right.
anodized, so it has a coating on it. So if there's ever any stress or anything like that, you can see some white marks happening in those pieces. So you can always kind of do that. What we used to do in the past, and we got away from it and we got to get back to it, is like almost every year we would go through our beams for our structures or anything that had keter, and we would just kind of clean out the ends of those keter rails just so it wasn't catching the top. So we'd also be kind of checking any kind of cracks or anything like that. And it wasn't every single piece. It was whatever we had in the warehouse at that time. But it's tough to stay on top of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think people check it enough. I think that what happens is most of the time people check it when it becomes wintertime or downtime when they can get to it at their leisure. I mean, I think it's tough though. I mean, for like a company like us who's got so much coming in and out all the time, you can't. It's hard enough to count all the pieces that come in, right? Let
Yeah.
alone check all those weldments and everything. But yeah, I think it's something that definitely needs to be done. Just more often, kind of like inventory.
Yeah. Right. It's part of it.
All right, Kevin, talk to us a little bit about some heat illness and what's going on right now with it being so hot. Kyle's favorite topic here. I know drink a lot of water, but give us some tips, tricks, what you guys got going on and what you're currently doing with how
Kyle's
hot it is in
favorite thing,
California.
water.
This is where Kevin's like, so we put up a 10x10 first thing
Mhm.
to go on site, and then their guys get a break every 10 minutes. They work for 3, take a break for 10. Work for 3, take a break for 10.
Hey, Kyle, do you want to let him answer the question? Because I believe that's
No,
who
but-
I asked the question to.
That's
It's-
standard,
it's-
Kyle, for every day at work. Come on, not just when it's hot.
California.
Yeah. So again, where I live is we definitely have some higher rules and regulations than a lot of places in the US. Now, like people may think that people are just coming up with stuff in the air and all that. Most of our labor laws stem from the agricultural workers in our state. So break times, heat illness stuff, all that stems from those groups of people. Because what happened in the past, and this is years ago, is they'd be working out in the fields and people would die when it was 100 plus or all that. They wouldn't get proper breaks,
Right.
they wouldn't get water and all that. So because of that, they've imposed labor rules because of that industry onto all industries in our state. I'm pretty sure there's some surrounding states that may have something either similar or comparable. But one of the things that like we have to do every year is like go over like a heat illness training, whether it's someone who's dealing with heat stroke or just a standard heat illness, and how to take care of them, get them water when needed, get them in a cool place and all that. And drink a lot of water. I mean, that's what it really comes down to. I know Kyle loves his water.
I hate
What do you
water.
put in your water every day?
Mio.
Yeah. So, one of the things to like
Do you
think
supply
about.
the water?
Yes, we supply the water, and we used to. I mean, 15 years ago when we were doing this, we would take those big 5-gallon jugs that you could get at the grocery store or whatever, and that was our water for the day. And we would cut an Arizona can in half or drink out of that.
That's
Yeah.
asking to cut your lip open.
Oh yeah, I mean, hey, this was way back when, right?
So are you buying pallets of water? What are you doing?
Yes. So now we purchase pallets of water from. We always look to see where
plastic
pricing's
bottles?
at. Yeah, plastic
that doesn't
bottles.
seem sustainable, Kevin.
I know. Trust me, I know.
So you're gonna switch to
But-
liquid death?
Yes, we're gonna switch to a aluminum can.
Nice, perfect.
much
Thank
better.
you.
Yeah.
Do you not
So
care
what-
about this planet?
Yeah. So what like we did is we used to have, and then we switched to like when we went to those 5-gallon jugs to the buckets, right? That you see at baseball games, soccer games, all that, those kind of things. But the problem with those is once you take that lid off, if any kind of dirt or anything gets in there, like it's done, it's contaminated, right? Now with like the water bottles that we currently have, that's your water bottle, that's your water. So like there's nothing that can really get into it unless something crazy happens. So we went, instead of having those 5-gallon big ice jugs with water in it and the plastic cups, to now we're down to plastic water bottles. Eventually, like Kyle was saying, going to like an aluminum can. So, which most of my crew, they fight over who's taking the cans and going to go recycle them at the end of the day, or bottles.
So you're providing the water?
Yes. Legally, we have to
All the
provide
time?
water. Yep.
All of it.
Okay.
Yeah, all of it. Yep. We
I'm coming
we
to work
can't
for
say you need to bring your own water. If they need water, like let's say they run out, right? And each lead
Yep.
knows this, that they have to, like, they need to go down to either to the liquor store or back to the wherever they can get water
where?
at. The liquor store.
I
And
don't,
get,
think, I don't think you buy water at the liquor store, Kevin. I would check those receipts.
damn it. So, or something like that, right? Like the Wawa. Does that make more sense now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Did you
they
say
know that
liquid
that's
store, not
yes,
liquor?
liquid store. Uh, yeah, so that's where they can go. They know that they need to go do that. Like we do not
Yeah.
accept the call of, hey, we're out of water. What do we do? Like, no, you guys have to go get like water, turn in receipts, whatever it may be. But yes, we are providing water. We even have an ice machine that gets filled weekly at our warehouse that they can grab ice in and put it in the coolers and then put water bottles in there.
No, that's awesome. Okay. Yeah, we also provide water for the guys here and there. And obviously not a state law like y'all, but
Here and there, he says. Here and there.
well, it's
we give them a bottle a week.
When they're not at the liquor store.
well, we let them go use their company credit cards and buy water when they need to, but you got to kind of watch it. You got to kind of watch it, and you got to kind of go buy it sometimes because somehow that water turns into a bag of chips and a couple Sprites or coffee or everything else. Just like when they go to they go to Home Depot and they go to buy wood or something at the Home Depot, and then they grab an extra Sprite and some candy and some chips to go with it.
I wish that's what my guys are buying at Home Depot, Nate, but my guys are like, oh, this Milwaukee drill looks nice. I'm going to get one of these for my toolbox. All of a sudden, Ramon's got the nicest tools out of everyone. I'm like, where'd you get these? He's like, oh, you sent me for lumber the other day.
Mm-hmm. I know how that goes. Well, Kevin, anything else you want to touch on, current topics or anything else going on?
Yeah. I think, some of us are really trying to figure out what's happened in the last couple of weeks, especially with some of those tents either collapsing or moving with little ballast on them. There was even one that you guys were talking about last podcast or before where it was like a sail cloth tent and people were still holding on to it as it was just gusting like crazy. So, it's unfortunate that those events happen. And what comes out of those is, like we were talking about, more strict regulations, more eyes on us, more things like that. Stage collapses, all those kind of things play into our industry. So I wouldn't be surprised if, something is going to be, coming out of these, especially with the presence of social media and like all the videos that everyone has a camera and a video recorder in their pocket now. So it's becoming more and more known when things are happening. And most of those videos you watch are like kind of, why are they doing this? This is crazy. This is crazy. We're watching like, is it going to collapse? What's going to happen? So it's really interesting to kind of see like what may be coming out of that, in the future.
So do it right, folks.
Yeah, do it right.
Well, do it right and do what you say you're going to do. Right, Kyle?
Mm-hmm.
Even though somebody might beat you out because you charge too much for weights in your local market, right?
I don't know who you're talking about, Nate.
Yeah,
I got one
me
thing,
neither.
Nate. I got one thing.
All right, what you got?
I stopped at a good friend of the podcast yesterday on my way back from Long Island, John Clark at Ace up in Long Island.
Yep. How was that?
Great facility, but my favorite part was in the men's room. He has news radio playing really loud, so that way the guys don't stay in there too long and talk or play on their phones.
Oh,
I loved it.
That is good.
Yeah,
Isn't it funny? It's almost like a torture room, so you don't want to go there and stay too long.
Exactly.
Oh my god!
I thought that was the greatest. I might put that in our bathroom, in our break room. I'll turn it off from 12 to 12:30. That's it.
Oh, the places you will go and find new tips and tricks.
I know he's got to have some good war stories from that whole area that he works in. Jeez.
Oh,
really nice facility, indoor loading docks. I'm really jealous of that.
Wow.
What'd you say it was? Like 100,000 square foot?
He's like, what do you say, 55, 56 on the lower level, another 30, I think, upstairs in his mezzanine.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, guys. Well, I got to hop off here, but it was good talking with both of you. Kevin, great to have you on as always, buddy. Thanks for popping in and giving us some stuff here. Kyle,
I'll close it out for you, Nate, okay, since you got to go.
Thanks for contributing, asshole.
This has been another episode of Under the Vinyl, a rental management media podcast. See, not that hard,
the very
Nate.
best friends you could ever have.
We're the three best friends anyone can have.
Cut.